This is the Attic Fanatic.
Saint Laurent, we poppin' to the bands go. Count it all, we know what's in the band though. Why y'all niggas count bands to this? Yeah. My dog boys count bands to this. My little shooters count bands to this. We gon' get this money, that's the plan you did.
All right. Well, okay. So we know the finals. We know FIFA World Cup finals, Argentina and Spain. Just your reaction to it all the time. Anything you want to get off your chest? I wanted to talk about just what we were talking about the other day because you were really passionate about it, and that's just I don't know, kind of just the lack thereof or laissez-faire enthusiasm when it comes to Americans and soccer. Because I think it's perfect for us to talk about because we're on opposite sides of the spectrum, bro. To be honest with you, you're on the side, and I don't think you're alone. I don't think, being fair, I don't think you're alone, dude. I think there's a lot of people that feel the same way about you that are diehard soccer fans that follow it, whether it's like going for U.S. or Mexico. A bunch of our homies, of course, are going for Mexico and whatnot. And then I fall onto it where I'm as fair weather as it comes with soccer, but I don't I don't know. Do you think it's a philosophy thing? Do you think it's actually like, or do you think it's an allocation thing? Do you think like, okay, if you're running the team, what would the team's biggest needs be?
I think it's more the biggest need for them is being able to get guys that want to buy in and just be a part of it, right? Like I think whenever you look at a lot of these countries that are doing really well and they've had a lot of success, not all of them are people from their own country, but and they'll pull other people in, but they have a lot of a passion behind it. They have a lot of drive and a lot of people that want to buy in. I mean, Cape Verde, I'm sure, were 100% bought in that they were going to be able to do something, and they did to an extent, right? They were the only team to keep Spain from scoring. Small country, they had that ability to get the people to buy in. I feel like the U.S. is always going to fall short because it doesn't feel like people are buying in, and I feel like it starts at the fans. It's in general. I think a lot of people are like you. It's like we have so much greatness here for us to watch outside of soccer. Why should we care, right? So it starts there. I think the team needs to get people to buy in because as a player, when you're looking at the possibility of playing for your parents' hometown or your parents' home country or wherever it may be, you have the option to go there where you have Mexico, for example, where they have all these fans. It's just everyone's just enthusiastic, win, lose, or whatever. They have people flooding the streets. They got people that are genuinely just super excited. They're singing songs for players as they're getting on the plane to head home. You know what I mean? Like they give that type of environment. And then you have the U.S. It's just like, yeah, they show up they'll fill a stadium and stuff like that. But it's not that same pride, that same care and love that you would think a country would give towards their own people. And so to me, I think that's where they're falling short. They just need to have that ability to have people come in and just buy in what they have here. You don't have that same passion. It doesn't seem like the players have the same care. They have talent. Like I told you previously, you got players on Mexico that came from the U.S. It's not that the U.S. doesn't have the talent. The talent's there. It's getting people to buy in, want to stay here, and invest their time in that. And I think that's where it falls short. So, people like me, who's my family being Latino, our family originates from, Texas before Texas was Texas, it was part of Mexico and all of that. When I have that option, where I got family that's from Mexico, family from the U.S., what's going to make me want to support the U.S. when they do when they move like that versus supporting Mexico? You know what I mean? It's not that I don't love the U.S. by any means. I love this country. I love it more. I love being here. I love everything about it. I have so much pride being an American. But where's the buy-in on the actual team? Why should I support this versus where my family's from and the team that they have that has that passion and love and the drive they have behind it? I mean, our star players from Colombia. He came to Mexico to be there because Colombia didn't show him that love. So it's another situation of where Colombia could have had this great player, but Mexico showed him more love. They're more passion. You know what I mean? So it's just that's where I feel like it's more of I think it's more of a cultural thing than it is the talent issue.
Okay, all right. So, because I'm asking this in part because I've been following it and keeping paying more attention because of you, of course, and whatnot. Just trying to dip my toes in other stuff, other sports that I don't follow that much. And I agree with you, like 100% from my observations. The enthusiasm and pride is definitely on display with other countries. I mean, the Vikings have their little rowing thing; they have that going on as they're banging the drum and whatnot. The Viking row. You got England that's singing their songs, and even Mexico that's getting down too and partying. It looks like a party in the stand. So I totally agree with you, and I get what get where you're coming from. That's just why I would just ask the question because I just from an outsider's perspective, that's why I don't know, like if it's a cultural thing or if it's literally like a financial allocation thing of who's willing to pay. Because I mean, that's what I wanted to go because you brought it up. You player from Mexico that's from Colombia, and so players can basically be mercenaries for hire, so to speak. They don't necessarily have to have a nationality with that team. Is that right? 'Cause I'm really asking because I don't know.
So the way it works is that you need to be from someone who is either their parents are from that country would qualify you to play for that country. You would have to live there for a set amount of years, or you would have an actual citizenship with that country, right? So in Kiona's situation, he was in Colombia. He moved to Mexico. He actually got a citizenship there, and so he then lives there. So that would qualify him to be there.
Oh, okay. But
I
is there a
forget the
little
players
bit?
that are from America.
Is there a little bit of embellishment with that though, where a player gets proposed something from a team and then they just so happen to file for like dual citizenship? I'm not saying that's every case, but is that really like
It's
the case, like where it's a little bit of team building going on with that?
There definitely is. Don't get
Okay.
me wrong. Cape Verde's country is less than 500,000 people. For them to have the talent they have, nah, I could be wrong. I don't know their players deeply, so I very much could be speaking ill here. But my understanding is, countries like that, they do bring in guys, right? Like they do have that. They bring in that attraction. So there is some of that team building portion of it there for sure.
Okay.
Um, is there? There's definitely probably a little bit of the money aspect too, but a lot of it, like you have situations where I forget the name of the guy he's from Minnesota who plays for Bosnia, for example. His was not a money thing, right? He went to
Okay.
Bosnia to play because of that's where he felt the passion was,
No,
right?
and,
That
and
was a personal decision,
And I
right?
don't. I bring up this conversation just really just asking from an observational standpoint. Like that's what I do because I do notice that, and that's a silver lining that I did take from soccer, where I'm just like, wow, these guys, the fans are dedicated, and there is some pride and camaraderie to that. Win, lose, or tie, there's a lot of respect shown from it. When I watched the South Korea to Mexico game, like you were telling me how you really liked the South Korean team, and I'm just like, I didn't know that ahead of time, but in retrospect, watching that game, I'm just like, yeah, no, the players seem to actually really like each other and respect each other. It's just, so I kind of have gotten talked into watching this. I'm gonna look forward to watching the next FIFA World Cup for sure. Like I do like the philosophy of it, the culture of it, and whatnot. But yeah, I do fall under is just like, I mean, you know me, football's our first love. It's my first love. It's
Yes.
football and everything else. So why the hell would I follow this? I get it. I say this all the time. It's cliche, but I mean, why would I follow football around the world when we made our own football and it's better than football? But that's just really just my opinion, of course. Like it's subjective. I don't, not to be disrespectful, I could still recognize game, and I could recognize the greatness that was this well, I guess it's still going on because the championships is Sunday, but I do recognize the greatness of FIFA World Cup. But that's why I'm just asking because I'm trying to really figure it out. Because I was quick to just like we lost and it was in disappointing fashion, and that was the thing too. Because I'll go for Mexico because my brother and because of our family and whatnot. Like both of our families are Latino. Both of them, both a lot of my Mexican brethren and homies are going for Mexico. So I was just going for all the host teams, but for Mexico, even though they lost now in the same round, they lost the day before United States did. The way Mexico lost was a lot more respectable than the U.S., and that's what I don't like. Like I am very patriotic. I do love my team, even though I think I am laissez-faire when it comes to us in soccer, American soccer. It's like whatever. Like, can we just bring on football? I do recognize, like, hey, like I do take pride in my country, and I don't want us looking like some bitches, dude, for lack of a better term, because that's what it was. Mexico actually
It,
put up a fight. Even though they lost, they went down swinging. We went out like some straight up punks. We got punked, and I don't like that. And that's my issue with that. And so that's what does stick with me. But at the same time, I'm just like really trying to, okay, money's one thing. if it's a money issue, I know the U.S. we have money, we could allocate funds to maybe persuade, some English. You were talking about that English player that plays for us, and that was actually really good because he wouldn't make it for the English team, so he came and played for us. I know we could find other players like that. I don't think it's a money thing. So I just wanted a clarification. So with your information that you just gave me, bro, I think I do have clarification that you're right. It is a culture problem, and that's not as easy to fix because you got to get people to like it. And
Exactly, and that's why I get so passionate about it. It's because it's one of those things where it's something that you feels like could be corrected if you get the right people around it. Now, again, as far as how deep down the line it goes, whether it's with a coach, players, whoever it is, it just that I don't know for sure, but it definitely just feels like it's just that lack of care. So it's definitely frustrating to watch. For any American should be frustrated to watch. So.
Well,
Yeah.
that part was frustrating, but again, dude, like, I mean, am I more upset with that, or am I more upset with my Denver Broncos losing the AFC Championship? Like, it's not even close, and that's it. But I get it. Like, I actually think it's more complicated because it is a cultural thing than like money. Money would be easier because we have money in the U.S., so it'd be easy to just throw money at a problem and fix it. But the culture thing is a lot more and I think you're right. I think hammer on the nail. A parallel I would use is WNBA, right? Like WNBA in the past like several years has become way more popular with Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, Sabrina Ionesco, Sophie Cunningham, like Asia Wilson, like all these new players, Paige Beckers, like, and it takes the right people, and it's gaining more popularity than it has in the past several years because of players like that. But it's just like, can you find those players? Like, who's going to be that standout player for the next FIFA World Cup? Who's going to be that American player that's like, that would be, what we need? We need somebody that's legitimately like not an English guy that just has dual citizenship. We need like that blue chip, blue collar Nebraskan corn fed dude that just happens to be the next freaking David Beckham or whatever. I don't know. Like, that's who we need. We need like a Caitlin Clark for the soccer world. And it's just easier said than done to achieve that. Is just my thing. But I could tell you're passionate, dude, and I respect it. Like I said, we could disagree about this, my dog. That's what I love. I love that we could have these talks, and that's why I wanted to bring it up, because we are more on the opposite sides of the spectrum with this, but we could find a lot of common ground. Because, like I said, I enjoyed it. I am looking forward to Sunday. I know you are too, because Messi's playing, and you're a big Messi fan. I mean, any soccer fan's probably a Messi fan. Even I know that, me being a green guy. So I'm excited for it. But yeah, I just wanted to get your reaction to it, because yeah, our earlier conversations, I could tell that you were passionate about it, and for good reason. But okay, dude, let's play some.
Real quick, want to throw this out there. I am a Messi fan. I am going for Spain though. Just want
Oh,
to make that
really? Is it because
I just want to make that
because
very
of your
clear.
Latino roots that you're gonna go for our oppressors that got us to speak
part
Spanish?
of that. I just have a lot of issues with Argentina. That goes a lot deeper than that. But anyway, yeah.
So my name
just want to throw that out there.
Sanchez is my name is technically Mexican, but of course it stems from Spain, so it is technically Spanish. But that's like that's like Lopez, that's like all the main ones. Gutierrez, that's like all the cliche stereotypical ones technically are Mexican, but they all hail from, because of course Cortez and all that thing. But no, all right, buddy. How about we play some trivia then? How about that? Okay, so I'm gonna ask you these questions, bro, in no particular order, and I'm gonna give you 30 seconds on the clock and see if you can answer them. I might change it up in the future to give us both to play and just randomly generate questions, but I thought it'd just be fun this time to just come up with some on the fly. But it's just something I'm fucking around with, and I don't know. I think it'd be fun. I don't know about you, but let's flex our sports muscles here. The last one's gonna be a mixed bag question, but it just so happens to be sports related one. But okay, you ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's see, 30 seconds on the clock.
Oh man.
They're easy ones. You could tell they're definitely me kind of questions, but yeah, they're just ones that I thought on the spot. So okay, first one. LeBron James is set to enter his 24th season and is most likely to sign with the Cleveland Cavaliers. Last time he played for Cleveland was the 2016 NBA Finals, in which the Cavs won. Which player made the game-winning shot to end the series? 30 seconds starts now. And you could ask me for hints, too, if you have any ideas. It's not that hard.
I'll take a hint. There's two names that come to mind, but I'm not confident.
He was the Robin to LeBron's Batman. And that's all you should probably need to know.
Kyrie Irving.
Correct. Correctamundo. You got that one really easy. See, it's not that. Yeah, it was game 6. Game 6, he made the game-winning shot, I believe, is over Kevin Durant, and that basically just wrapped it up after that. There was like 15 seconds left on the clock, and they were up by 8 points at that point. So pretty much I love that team. You know my affinity for Kyrie Irving. That's why I said it. In the second half, we're going to get to NBA free agency mainly, where I want to get your opinion on LeBron, but we'll get to that. But that's why I chose the LeBron James themed one. This next one's going to be World Cup related because we just talked about the World Cup. So your boy, Lionel Messi, has a chance to win his first FIFA World Cup Golden Boot award. He's currently tied with France's Mbappe with 8 goals. Last time he was eligible, he finished second in the race. Which player did he lose to? 30 seconds starting now.
Oh. Oh, man.
He's one of the Golden Boot Award nominees this year. He's definitely in the top 3. And he's one of the more popular players you think of when you're thinking of...
He came in second. That would have had to have been...
2022. The last time.
Oh, yeah. Then that's easy. That's Mbappe then. Or
yep.
Mbappe?
Ding, 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 ding. See, bro, you're so nervous about this. You got this. Okay. All right. Now, this one's going to be the real one because this is the mixed bag question is what I'm calling it. And it'll just be random ones because, it's just fun to just do random ones like geography and whatnot. This one just happens. I've been on a big movie kick recently, and this one just happens to be a sports movie-related question. So, Mike Vitar played Benny the Jet Rodriguez in the Disney film The Sandlot. Name another popular 90s Disney film that Mike Vitar also starred in. 30 seconds starts now.
I'm gonna be honest with you, I actually don't know. I don't even know where to begin with that. I don't know.
So yeah, you got to think. You just think in your head. Benny and the Jet Rodriguez. You have him in your. So what other movies came out? That was like '93 that The Sandlot came out. You got to think of other like movies that came out around that time.
Man.
There's Remember the Titans. There's Luck of the Irish. You got to think other sports, soccer movies, hockey movies. And give up. 30 seconds.
You got me to that one.
It could. There's multiple answers. It's a franchise. It's a hockey movie. Still one of the cleanest logos. There's an NHL team that got made after this team, this fictional team. Emilio Estevez starred in the first 2 as their coach. The Mighty Ducks, dude.
Mighty Ducks, yeah, okay.
He was in D2 and D3. D2 when they go to the Olympics and he got introduced. Yep, Mike Vitar, and he also starred in the 3rd one too. Yeah, oddly enough, that dude became a firefighter.
Oh,
yeah, he
that
stopped.
Is interesting.
Yeah, he just had his one. He had his 3 films. He was in a couple other ones after that. He was in The Sandlot too. Interestingly enough, in The Sandlot, the adult version of him is played by his older brother, which actually makes sense because if you go back and watch it, the dude looks exactly like him. But yeah, buddy, that's that. I just thought that would be fun. Just a fun little thing to stretch our
awesome.
sports.
I should have known the Mighty Ducks. Like now that I'm thinking in hindsight, that was good.
There's only so many Disney movies that came out in the 90s. It's a mixed bag question. Next week we'll do I'm going to randomly generate them because I want to get in on this. So it might be like geography or something. I don't know, but I just thought that would be fun to go with it.
Yeah,
but,
no, I like it.
Yeah, just something to cleanse the palate. Just while we're regurgitating all of our sports talk that we've been wanting to have for the past couple weeks. Just something to like flex our muscles and whatnot. And who doesn't love trivia? But okay, buddy. NBA free agency. I know we talked a little bit about Houston and whatnot. We could get into that. We can get into Denver. We can get into other teams making moves. But mainly, I'm just going to ask you what everybody else is asking. Just point blank, who do you think LeBron's going to and why? It's multiple teams, but then I'll go with mine as well. But
I my heart wants to say it's going to be the Cavs, but I could also see him going to Miami, just to see him and I'm not going to even attempt to say his name Giannis Giannis, I think would be a cool combination. I think it would.
Bam Adebayo is already there too, so you're talking about like guys that are.
He's passionate. Bam, he's already shown that he's very hot-headed about that whole situation.
Oh, you talking about the Tyler Hero thing?
Yeah, so he has fire. I feel like they could probably convince him. I don't know how the finances would look in that situation, but I could see them convincing him to come
also
over
won a championship with Miami, his first one. Obviously, It doesn't mean as much as the Cleveland one, but of course, he'd be joining another super team. Where would you want him to go? Is it the same team? Because there's who you think he's going to go to and who would you want to. I would want him to go to Miami. For sure, that's one of them.
Go to the Cavs. I want him to go back home. Enjoy his time there before he calls it a day. You know what I mean? Just be able to kind of go back to where it started and be able to go out that way, right? That's similar to what Verlander's doing right now, right? Like Verlander's went back to Detroit, calling it a day. You know what I mean? So just it is what it is.
Yeah, there is some full circle moment of just him going back to the Cavs and whatnot. I think there's a good chance. If I'm going with logically who I think he's going to sign with, I think it's going to be. Let's be honest, dude. So this is interesting because, the week that he told people that he wasn't going to resign, the local ESPN radio guy is from San Francisco, and he was talking about how LeBron was taking his daughter out there and doing the whole media spin thing, like, oh, it might be likely that he's going with Golden State before they were even up there with the betting odds on who he was going to sign with. So he's been reporting to that. Then he's talking about they're talking about Giannis in his press conferences, and they're basically subtweeting each other via press conferences, basically sending love letters to each other, like, oh, it would be cool to play with him. And then he says something akin to trusting the process, which is basically a reference to Joel Embiid's The Process. So, he's basically flirting with everybody. So I think anybody's guess is as good as anybody's at this point. I think only LeBron James knows where LeBron James is going. But if you just gun to head, my gut instinct, I think it's going to be Cleveland. I think Cleveland or Golden State. But it just depends on if he wants to actually contend for a championship or not. I think he would be smartest, and this is going to be a little controversial. Yeah, Miami, but I think, honestly, dude, the one that people are barely even talking about is the one that I just recently referenced. I think he'd be smart to go with Philly because they just signed Jalen. As much as Joel Embiid gets gripes, and rightfully so, because his availability is the best ability, and he's out half the time. You got Jaylen Brown. I love me some Jaylen Brown. Such a great two-way player. You got Tyrese Maxey, who's a fucking bucket. Love Tyrese. Oh, my God. If you need anybody to fill a cup, just ask Tyrese Maxey to do it. All-around best shooter, and not from the three, from getting in the paint and getting down and dirty using speed. And then LeBron James on top of that. Those combinations of Jaylen Brown, you got 4 of the top 20 players in the league. And maybe I'm being generous. Maybe top 50. But because Joel Embiid doesn't play as much. But when Joel Embiid's on, I don't know. I think with Nick Nurse, he's polarizing, but he won with my 2019 Raptors. So, established championship coach. I like what you got going there. I think that or Miami would be the biggest impact. I think they'll be the most dominant as far as two-way defense as well as scoring, which you need. You need to be a chameleon in this day and age because that's what the Knicks were. If you need to win a 95 to 80 game, the Knicks could, or 85 to 83 game, the Knicks could do that. If you need a boat race to 140, the Knicks could do that. So, and that's what San Antonio could do. That's what OKC to do. I think that's the new meta. You need defense. You can't completely neglect it, which is why Golden State doesn't really make sense for a championship. It'd just be fun. But it just depends on what LeBron wants.
Well, the thing I didn't know about was I didn't realize he was over there in San Francisco. If he's walking around in there, if my memory serves correct, he was doing that with the Lakers before it was announced that he made that signing. So that kind of swings me a little bit, to be honest with you, because he was already looking at schools and everything else for his kids. So it's my opinion is kind of starting to swing towards Golden State. Now, what again, to your point, that would be more for fun at that point, but.
I don't think it's enough. As much as I love Jimmy Butler, as much as I love him, I don't think Jimmy Butler, older Draymond Green, but all he has to do is defend anyways, and then an older age Steph Curry, I don't think that's enough. I think you got too much gray hair in that bush, if I'm being honest with you. It's just a little bit too much. You need youth these days. You need speed and you need durability because if players get injured, so I don't think it's enough. But I take it with a grain of salt, dude, because that happened probably a couple weeks ago now. That was at the beginning of him announcing that he wasn't going to go back to LA, that he visited Golden State. Now, since then, you have him subtweeting Giannis, and then you have him making the references towards Philly too. So, take it with a grain of salt. And then he's made a few references towards Cleveland. I'm telling you, he's flirting with everybody, dude. He's flirting with everybody. So I think
as he should. He should be trying to get that money forever. Whoever ends up biting on it.
Yeah, for sure. To be honest with you, I don't want him here. I know that it's kind of a pipe dream anyways. I know the Nuggets were one of them, as well as the Timberwolves. I don't think either of those fit, and I just wouldn't want to. I don't think the juice is worth the squeeze for that. I love LeBron, but I don't want all the baggage that comes with him, and I just think it's a little. I don't even think that's enough. I don't think LeBron James would be enough, even with Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray, or maybe not Jamal, whoever. Jokic and LeBron with the cast around him, I don't even think is enough, to be honest with you. You need a few players here. So
You know your team better than I do. I just feel like that'd be an awkward fit. But
honestly, they're
being
not.
in an outsider perspective.
Two of the best IQs in the NBA to play with each other. Like, if you keep Aaron Gordon in there, then you got two people that could slash and just lob up to the hoop with Jamal Murray on the outside, and then you get another 3-and-D shooter with Cam Johnson. So it's promising from a schematic standpoint. But what I'm referencing is the circus that comes with LeBron, because he's LeBron James.
No, of course.
And I just don't think that's the distraction you need. Nikola Jokic is very tight-knit, which that's a whole other conversation we'll save for a whole other time, but he didn't sign his extension. But yeah. I'm really worried. I'm really worried. I'm really worried.
Retirement?
No. I think he's gonna go by the way of Giannis. Everybody here, everybody talks. Everybody's so confident, and he says it too. And I don't think Nikola Jokic is a liar either. He says he wants to be Nugget for life. He is kind of the antithesis of your stereotypical star NBA player, but so was Giannis. Come from humble beginnings, very loyal to the team, but you keep dicking around with them, and you keep on making operational questionable decisions, not signing the right people. That Christian Brown contract just aged like milk. Cam Johnson I like, but is it really better than Michael Porter Jr.? There's an actual conversation for that. There's a debate. You can go either way with that. So I don't know. I think we take for granted the times that we have with him, and we assume that he's going to stay with us. But his brother, and here's another interesting layer to it too. His brother just became a legitimate NBA agent, so he's going to represent Nikola Jokic in the future too. So his brother could be looking out for him and being like, "Yo, dude, I know you love this guy, but we're looking for generational wealth here. We're looking for the most money. This is a business. You got to play the game." So
it's also just making sure that his brother's being taken care of. Maybe not necessarily the whole generational wealth, but obviously family's going to care about family. He doesn't want him getting screwed over, whether it be by what you're saying, the terrible decisions that he may view as well. He wants to see him in a good place, and not he could be stressed out, behind the scenes, and just annoyed and frustrated, and maybe his brother's like, hey man, maybe it might be happier for you to go another situation, because they don't seem like money really is the end all be all for them.
no,
At least from an outsider's perspective on that.
no. But of course, still, it doesn't help when you're dealing with questionable decisions to the likes of the Kroenke family, because again, what you're talking about does have some credence to it, of his brother wanting to protect him, because the Kroenkes are businessmen and this is a cutthroat business, so they will hurt feelings, and they've been dicking around with it, and they've been signing people here and there, but they're notoriously cheap, and they notoriously only allocate to one of their teams to push for a championship each year, it just seems like. And you can't, that's a whole other we could do a whole other hour on the Kroenke Sports and Entertainment empire, because they are the wealthiest and most successful sporting conglomerate. Between the LA Arsenal, the LA Rams, the Colorado Avalanche, and the Denver Nuggets, they have the most championships, the most winning ratio, they profit the most money. That you can't tell them any differently. You can't tell them to change up their method, because their method has proven dividends these past decade. And yeah, it rotates. If they really wanted to, they could probably allocate all their money at once towards all of their teams, but that would mean less money for them. And we all know how billionaires think, and that's not how they think. They want more money for them. So I'm just saying, we got to monitor this situation. It could be just because, he wants the most money, but it could also be because he wants, here, I won't sign my extension for you. Here, don't worry about that extra $50 million you have to pay me this year or whatever. Sign some people. Sign some motherfuckers in here so we could actually get some shooting and defense in here. But when, we were talking a couple weeks ago about the possibility around town was that us signing LeBron James, and we go for that to, hey, we signed the best defensive player in the EuroLeague. Hey, we extended Ty Simpson's contract from a G League contract to an actual NBA contract. Okay, cool. Not really going to move the needle. And you're wasting, again, we had this conversation prior where, like, Nikola Jokic, when it's all said and done, if he continues to play and has success, he could go down as a top 10 player. Right now, he's already top 20, top 15, but to get closer to that upper echelon, it takes at least another championship. And they are wasting it and wasting it and wasting it. And, for me, just 10,000 foot view, even from my bias as a homer, I think he's going to go more the way of Giannis. And a lot of Denver fans feel like he's better than that. He can win multiple championships, but so did Dirk. So did Giannis. A lot of people think that their teams are going to go to more NBA finals than they do. A la the Phoenix Sun going up against the Milwaukee Bucks a couple years ago when the Bucks won. Neither of those teams have even gotten close to the NBA finals since then. None of them, they could barely make the playoffs now. So the time waits for no man, especially in this ever-evolving, this new NBA league where it's all about youth and it's all about building young players, and now you have the repeater tax, and now you have the second apron taxes too on top of that because they don't want repeat super teams because the Golden State Warriors and the Miami Heat and stuff like that. So now you got all this convoluted stuff on top of that to worry about, which I don't know about you, but I think baseball needs that more than anything. I know, and we'll save that for another podcast, but I know baseball is trying to tamper with their cap to make it to where it's not so top heavy, but the NBA has really done that. Yeah. But now it's shit or get off the pot, plain and simple. And if you ask me today, in 2026, July 17th at approximately 6:00 p.m., I will tell you that I think the Denver Nuggets have won their one and only NBA championship in the next 20 years. And I think Nikola Jokic will go down as one of the most talented big man, probably the best offensive big man to ever do it in history, but he won't be in the top 10. He's not going to pass Shaq. He's not going to pass Hakeem. He's not going to pass, Wilt. Maybe you could put an asterisk because of Wilt because of the time period, but he's not going to go up the Mount Rushmore of the best bigs to ever do it as of now. He's just not because of his lack of defense, but you don't average a triple-double twice in the past 2 seasons without a setback, and you live with that. Because he's a center that can average a triple-double. When you lead the league in not only assists, but rebounds, but assists, bro. Like rebounds, okay, you're a center. But assists, not a guard, not a forward, a center leading the league in assists. Like, you don't meet a player like that in every few lifetimes, let alone like a lifetime. So it's really disappointing, bro. It's really, I didn't even want to talk about this. It's just impromptu, but we talked about free agency. It has little to do with, it's more of what we're not doing than less of what we are doing. And we are not signing the right players and building a right team around Nikola Jokic. And it's sad because now his future's up in the air and the dude doesn't have to play another game and he'll do a backflip into the Basketball Hall of Fame easily. But like,
if he leaves, that will be the biggest fumble I think I've ever witnessed in my entire life. I can guarantee you that. But because in my book, he's already a top 10 guy. But I do agree to your point, man. For me, I'm already counting the future years that haven't existed yet. And of course, anything can happen. But yeah, no, if they fumble this up, man, that I could not think of a worse situation for any sports franchise. That would be absolutely astronomical.
Well, I think it would be par for the course as far as the Nuggets franchise because they're the antithesis of let's just say the Denver Broncos, who are a pedigree. They are heralded as one of the best NFL franchises, one of the original AFL. They have an outstanding resume of not only playoff percentages, but playoff wins and multiple championships, et cetera, et cetera. The Nuggets have always been a flyover, irrelevant team, small market team. Nikola Jokic has sort of made it a more desirable destination, but I'd say it'd be easier from like a totality standpoint to just take the Nikola Jokic era and just say that was an outlier if you're extrapolating the timeline for the next 20 years because the previous 20 years was terrible. So who's to say the next 20 is not? I was a
big Nuggets fan for a lot of that.
You get what I'm saying. Like as a totality of the whole 50 years of the franchise, this past 10 is more of an aberration and doesn't fit the Yeah, you got some, the number 6 seed upsetting the number 1 Seattle Supersonics will always go down as one of the best. You got the World Championship Carmelo Anthony Nuggets going up against the LA Lakers. And they at least took him to 5 games and made it somewhat entertaining. You have these other, you got the 80s with Alex English. That's another trivia question for you. If I were to ask you in the 80s, I think it was 80s, maybe it was the 70s. No, it was the 80s because Showtime Lakers, but not Bird, not Magic, but during the whole 80s, Alex English led the league in scoring. And that's a trivia question for you. So you got the 80s teams too with like Fat Lever. But yeah, you got some good teams, but this team is definitely the aberration, and I just think it's going to go back to doom and gloom. And that's why we have a saying around here where it's hashtag Nug Life, not Thug Life, but Nug Life, because that's just how it is, dude. You're used to disappointments,
Yeah.
That's just how it is. But yeah, only time will tell. It's not good, bro. It's not good. And if you're asking me, since I have my ear to the ground, I'd say the window is pretty much slamming shut. It'll take a number of miracles or big moves to sway me any other way. I just really
I pray you're wrong. That's all I have to say is that. I pray you're wrong. And this is a Houston fan saying this. I pray you're wrong on this.
Well, because he's brilliant, dude. But I'm just telling you, that's my gut instinct. Even if he stays, best case scenario, okay, he signs his extension next year. The Cronkies will continue to sit on their hands, make a signing here and there, keep a few favorites, avoid the second apron. They don't even want to do the repeater tax, which I get it because it's like the sum of $400 million just to retain Peyton Watson and all these other guys that we don't want to go out the door. Cam Johnson and players like that. But they don't even want to play the repeater tax, and the second apron would be upwards of like $800 million. So I get it. But they have all the money in the world, so I don't want to hear about that. Like, all the best teams do it, but I think it's just too late. They signed the wrong guys, they let the wrong guys walk, and they just bet on themselves a little bit too much, and that's just what happens. Because now you have OKC to deal with, now you have the Thunder to deal with. Portland, bro, do me a favor, just one last thing, like, do me a favor and just look up Portland's, not now, but when you get a chance, bro. They have like 10 guards. It's ridiculous how many guards they have right now. And they just added Ja Morant, which, say what you want, polarizing player. When he's of the right mindset, dude is a bucket. But you had that with Dame Dollar coming back, and then you got Scoot Henderson who could game. Like, dude, they have, like, it's insane. The majority of their team, like 70% of it is guards, bro. It's crazy. So I don't know what they're going to do, but they can make some moves.
They have 9 guards and 6 sitters.
Yes, dude. And like 2 forwards, and that's it. Just 2 forwards.
Sorry, 5 sitters. That's hilarious.
Yes, dude. So they're going to be willing and dealing. LaMelo Ball went to the Timberwolves. I hate the Timberwolves as a franchise so much. I loves me some Ant Edwards and some LaMelo Ball, dude. Are you kidding me? And yeah, you lose some defense with Naz Reid, but that offense is going to be worth it because you got defensive players in Minnesota already. You got Rudy Gobert. He has like 6 of them things. Yep. And Ant's one of the best two-way players. So, like, the West isn't going anywhere. It's a gauntlet. And with Houston, too. Houston's going to be there. That's a very young, talented team, too. You got the Phoenix Suns. A lot of people don't know this because their blueprint is from the Golden State Warriors Splash Brothers era, but they were the best team behind the arc in three-point range. They were dead last in the paint, and that's why they were a fringe play-in team, and they couldn't stop they couldn't stop anything and Swiss cheese defense. But still, like, the West isn't going anywhere, so it should get off the pot, and they're just sitting on their hands. But anything else you want to talk about? Otherwise, I think we could just leave it at there, bro. I think that
was a lot of good information I didn't know about, to be honest with you. That was kind of a little eye-opening.
Yeah. No, right? The West is a gauntlet, bro. And then you got the whole freaking Kawhi thing, too. That's interesting now because he might not be going to the Toronto Raptors because there might be – the NBA is still looking into the whole embellishment thing where the Clippers owner was paying Kawhi under the table type shit. So that whole investigation's going. So if he stays in the West, okay, so you still have the Clippers to deal with, too. 'Cause, I mean, maybe that's my bias. Kawhi is getting a little bit older, but you know me. I love Kawhi, I love Dame, I love Kyrie. I will continue watching them. Those are my guys. And then you got the Lakers, too. We didn't even talk about the Lakers. His name is Luka. But, all right, buddy. We'll keep it there. I'll probably see you online in a couple hours. But until then, you know what to do. Get your fix. I'll see you later.
Have a good one.
Walking on a dream. How can I explain? Talking to myself.
The opinions expressed in Sport Takes in this show are strictly our own and do not reflect any MLB, NHL, NBA, NFL, or any professional team for that matter. It's just sports talk, dude. Don't get offended. Like and subscribe.